The movie opens in 1830 with a dead body hanging from a tree by a river in a deserted area. The main character, Augustus Landor, a retired policeman, is shown washing his hands by the river. He now lives alone in a small house. Some officers from a military academy come to Landor. The dead student belonged to their academy, and they want Landor to investigate. Landor is famous for solving difficult cases, so the academy captain personally comes to bring him in. At the academy, the captain tells Landor that the governor requested his help. Although Landor was a great policeman, his personal life has been tragic. His wife died 3 years ago, and his daughter ran away. Lonely, he has become dependent on alcohol. The colonel worries about giving Landor such a big case. Landor asks why he was called, and the colonel explains. A student named Fry supposedly committed suicide, but someone had removed Fry's heart before the body reached the hospital. The colonel takes Landor to the hospital, where Fry's body is kept. Dr. Marquis, who is examining the body, explains how an unknown criminal had cut open Fry's chest and cleanly removed his heart. Landor asks if a normal person could do this or if it required a surgeon. The doctor replies that someone with knowledge of the human body could do it. Being a surgeon isn't necessary. Landor first goes to the spot where Fry had allegedly committed suicide. Along with the captain is the soldier who first discovered Fry's body. The soldier says that while patrolling the area, he heard someone screaming. When he followed the sound, he found Fry's body hanging from a tree. The soldier adds that Fry's feet were still touching the ground. When Landor asks if he saw anyone else nearby, the soldier replies, "No." Landor smiles and tells him he can leave. Back at the hospital, Landor examines the body himself and discovers a deep wound on the back of Fry's head. He also finds injuries on Fry's hands, likely caused while trying to free himself. From this, it can be assumed that Fry didn't kill himself but was forcibly hung. Meanwhile, the doctor notices the head injury and is surprised he hadn't seen it before. They open Fry's clenched fist and find a piece of paper with letters on it, a potential big clue. The captain stops Landor and asks him to investigate the case secretly, so the academy's reputation isn't ruined. He strictly warns Landor not to drink until the case is solved. Landor agrees and begins his investigation, returning to the place where Fry's body was found to search for clues. While investigating, a cadet named Edgar appears. He tells Landor he has also been trying to investigate the case and believes Fry's killer is a poet. Later, Landor questions the constable who guarded Fry's body in the hospital when the heart was stolen. The constable says he was on duty until 2:30 a.m. when an officer came to discharge him. Because it was dark, he couldn't see the officer's face. The constable also noticed the officer had no rank badge, which puzzled Landor. Landor goes to a bar to calm his mind. The bartender, Patty, tells him she knew Fry well and is saddened by his death. She points to Edgar in the bar, who had claimed Fry's murderer was a poet. Landor realizes Edgar is speaking under the influence of alcohol. Edgar also mentions a past fight Fry had with his roommate, though no one knows the details. The next day, Landor and the captain bring in 2 soldiers for questioning. Fry's roommate says there was no serious fight. Fry had fallen into bad company, and he only tried to guide him back. They had a small argument, but Fry never revealed the names of these friends. The second soldier, Stoddard, was the last person to see Fry alive. He says Fry was sneaking away from officers that night for some important work. His pale face makes Landor suspicious, but since Stoddard wasn't feeling well, Landor allows him to leave. Just then, an officer brings a message for the captain. It said that someone had taken the hearts of a cow and a goat the night before. After reading the news, the captain becomes furious and, to prevent any more killings, declares a complete lockdown of the academy. However, Landor and Edgar meet outside the academy, ignoring the rules. Landor assumes Edgar must have known Fry well, but Edgar says he had never met him. Landor proposes working together to solve the case, and Edgar immediately agrees. Landor gives him the letter found in Fry's hand and asks him to try to understand and complete the incomplete words written in it, then leaves. That night, Edgar visits Landor's house and tells him he has decoded part of the letter. According to it, the killer had written the letter himself and lured Fry to the place where he would be killed under the pretense of some important work. This clearly means Fry knew the killer well, which is why he agreed to meet without hesitation. Landor is impressed by Edgar's observation, but there are still incomplete parts in the letter, so they work together to decode them. After a long effort, They conclude that the person who sent the letter was likely a woman. They believe a young boy would only leave the academy at such a late hour for a woman. Edgar tells Landor that if the killer is a woman, he might have seen her before. He shares a secret. His mother died 20 years ago, but her spirit still talks to him and recites poems every night, which Edgar writes in his diary. One morning, he wrote a poem about a sad girl who had committed a crime, and that same morning he saw a girl outside his window who looked exactly like the one described in the poem. That is why he thought she might be the killer. He adds that he only saw the girl once. Landor finds this unbelievable and begins to think Edgar is mad. Later that night, while in the arms of the bartender Patty, Landor asks her about Edgar. She says he is a good boy who has no one in the world, which is why he feels his mother's presence and imagines her around him. Hearing this, Landor feels sorry for Edgar, understanding the pain of being alone. The next day, while investigating at the hospital, a thought strikes Landor. Why would someone want to keep another person's heart? Thinking deeply, he begins to suspect the murder may be connected to black magic. He writes a letter to Edgar asking him to meet at an old deserted house. By chance, Landor finds evidence of black magic there, along with a demonic symbol. He realizes the killer has been taking the hearts of people and animals for black magic rituals. Landor and Edgar go to a friend who knows a lot about black magic. The friend directs Landor to a book written by a famous witch hunter, describing rituals to please the devil, including offering the heart of a hanged man. The friend also mentions Henry Clare, a witch hunter who killed about 700 witches, and wrote another book about a ritual to become immortal, its location now unknown. Landor tells Edgar to befriend the soldiers and find out who knows about black magic. Edgar does so and learns that the doctor's son, Artemis, has knowledge of it. Edgar meets Artemis under some pretext and becomes friends with him. Artemis later invites Edgar to a party, and Edgar informs Landor. They begin investigating Artemis together. At a party, Edgar meets Artemis, friends, and learns that Artemis and Bellinger knew Fry well. He also finds out Fry was in love with Artemis' sister, who betrayed him. Meanwhile, Landor sees a vision of his own daughter crying, which deeply upsets him. During Fry's funeral, his mother gives Landor Fry's diary, written in code. Landor starts decoding it. Edgar becomes friends with Leah, Artemis' sister, and invites her to a deserted place to investigate, but he falls in love with her. Leah has an epileptic seizure but recovers. Later, Bellinger attacks Edgar to warn him away from Leah, but Landor saves him. The next day, Bellinger disappears. His body is found hanging like Fry, with his heart removed. Dr. Marquette explains the wounds are different, and the killer also made Bellinger impotent. The colonel doubts Landor's skills, and the captain suspects Edgar. Landor defends Edgar and proves he is innocent. Landor discovers a magic book written by devil worshipper Henry L. Cleric. He realizes the doctor's family is behind the strange events. Leah, sick and desperate, uses dark magic rituals to try to become immortal, with help from her mother and brother. Leah takes Edgar to kill him as part of a ritual, but Landor arrives in time. A candle falls, starting a fire. Landor saves Edgar and the doctor's wife, but Leah and Artemis die in the blaze. Later, Edgar learns Landor secretly killed Fry and Bellinger. Landor explains his daughter had been raped by 3 cadets, including Fry, and she committed suicide. Landor took revenge, making it look like black magic. In the end, Landor has only memories of his daughter. He climbs a mountain, remembering his lost family. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.